Hi, and welcome to the fifth installment of the Everyone's Interesting podcast. And I'm here today as your host, Greg Alonge, and I'm here today with my son, Andrew Alonge, and I'm going to be doing an interview with him today. Good to see you, Andrew.
Hi.
Hi. So I wanted to know if you could talk a little bit today. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things. I think you're an extremely interesting guy, as you know. So let's try to figure out some things that we can talk about today. All right. I guess what I wanted to find out from you is what are you doing with your life right now at this time? What are you doing? Where are you going to school?
I'm currently in high school in the freshman year of the 9th grade.
How are you liking high school so far?
I like high school. It's a nice big building,
Mm-hmm.
so that means that I gotta carry all my stuff around with me, which, is a workout. But I feel like I can find my classes. Some of the classes are in the middle of nowhere, but I feel like I can find my classes, and I'm 3 weeks in, I think now.
Okay. Now, what makes this high school experience different? What are you doing this year in high school that's a different thing for you?
We have this big program with about 14 programs, and it basically is different kinds of trades. So there's HVAC, culinary, cosmetology, collision tech, auto repair, and a bunch of other different programs as well with that.
Mm-hmm. And how did you pick this?
I picked it because I felt like I didn't really feel like going to college, and I felt like I wanted to explore the world of the trades and get myself, have a chance of getting a job and something I like, rather than going to, because I'm not really a big fan of school, going to another 4 years of schooling to get a bachelor's degree in something else.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I feel like that fits me more as a person than going to college.
That's more where you're at.
Yes.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, great. And what do you like to do with your time when you're not in school, Drew?
I like to play online, like video games, and I like to hang out with some friends, maybe get together, make plans, and then go out somewhere and, just go out and live in my town where I live and, see the world instead of being in my house.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of games do you like to play? What are your 2 or 3 favorite video games that you're playing right now?
I'm replaying Doom 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played it in a little bit because I've been taking a break. I've been playing, the main genres I like are stealth games. I like stealth games. They take big times of, thinking, because you have to make a plan to not get spotted by your targets.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me use my brain a lot more. And I like that, because it's not like Call of Duty or any of Halo or these shooters now. It's more like, you have to think about your plan to take out your target. And I like those kinds of games. I like Assassin's Creed. And I'm playing a lot of Geometry Dash lately because, I don't know, I just felt like I like that game.
Yeah, you like that game? Okay. All right, that sounds good. Okay, so you like puzzle games?
A little bit of puzzle games.
Some action?
Action games.
Mm-hmm.
I like the shooter genre, but it's I don't know, it's not many games are getting more bigger now, so it's sort of, and they cost a lot more money too, which again, it's kind of hard to basically make an excuse to drop $70 on a game that there's a lot of people playing and they're a lot better than me at it. So
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And you like a lot of online games?
I'm more of a again, I do play online games, but not often. I'm more of a person who likes to play single player games because that's just me, and I don't have to worry about my teammates or anything. It's just me on my mission.
You're just responsible for yourself.
Yes, just responsible for myself. I don't have to look out for anybody. There's no one I have to hold the door open for.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is what I like to do. And I also don't have to have to talk to friends and have to rely on them to play the game that I want to. Some of the games I do play with them are single player, but some of them aren't as fun in single player. So that's some of the games that I'll play with them. But I'm not again, like if you play multiplayer games, like you need to rely on people to play with you.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're stuck with a bunch of random people.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
And I know that you also like, just shifting gears a little bit, I know that you really like music a lot.
Yes.
Now, do you feel comfortable at all talking a little bit about some music that you like? Like, what are some bands that are like if you had to pick like your top 3 favorite bands that you like the most?
Okay.
What 3 bands do you think that you would pick?
Alright, so in no particular order, I would go with Alice in Chains, Pantera, and Metallica.
Those are your 3?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any reason in particular why you like these bands?
Well, it's, 2 of those are, again, I've been listening to Metallica since I was like 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Pantera is, like in the car, like banging your head, like basically like thrashing your head back and forth. And then Alice in Chains is just like you get home and you want to just listen to some good music, It may not be the most positive energy music, but it's, music.
Mm-hmm. And you like those? You like all 3 of those bands so
Yeah.
much? That's great. Have you? Would you mind at all talking about? I know because I'm your dad. I know that you like to try to work and play on instruments a little bit. Do you want to talk a little bit about that today?
I like to. Again, I don't take lessons, so I'm not like like revolutionary guitar player or drum player. I do play drums. I have an electric drum set and an electric guitar, and I recently got gifted my brother's old acoustic by him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you've been playing that a lot?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like the acoustic more than the electric guitar?
Thing is that both of them are good in their respective qualities because the acoustic, you don't need much to play it. All you need is, again, you can play it just strumming with your hands. And there's like thousands of different tunes you can get for each different strings individually. But the thing is, you don't need anything else with that. Like, to play like an electric guitar, you need electricity, and you also need cables, and you also need an amp to project your sound more, because there's not a circle that would in your guitar that would project the sound more and cause it to echo a little more. So I feel like, in my eyes, an electric guitar is more versatile in it, because you can also play without, with your amp. But the acoustic guitar projects the sound more. So I feel like, on like traveling, I would definitely take an acoustic guitar over an electric guitar.
That would be your choice?
Yes.
I see. Okay. And do you have, you and I just recently been watching some new movies and stuff. Do you have any favorite movies that you like to watch? Like, what's your 3 favorite movies you've ever seen?
3 favorite movies I've ever seen. I'd say the prequels of Star Wars are up there. I like those movies. The fights are really quick. And
do you have one that you can pick of those prequels?
Oh, Revenge of the Sith all the way.
That's your favorite? How come?
Because Anakin looks a lot like me.
That's what you think?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Okay. And what are 2 other movies that would be your favorite movies that you've ever seen?
That is a good question. I like the Avengers movies. Those are pretty cool movies.
Mm-hmm.
Do
you have a favorite Avenger?
I like Iron Man because I'm a tech nerd. So
yeah, because you like the whole robotics part.
Yeah, the robotics and the prosthetics of like the movie. Yeah. And for another movie, I liked watching. I don't know what my other favorite movies are.
Okay.
Watched because again I watched Predator recently, which is a phenomenal movie.
You like that?
Yes.
Was it one of your favorites or?
It's up there again. Like the movie's iconic. So.
Mm-hmm. And you and I just watched Aliens together for the first time.
Yes, we watched Aliens.
What did you think of that movie?
I thought it was amazing too.
Yeah, what did you think was amazing about it?
It was like the thing is with those movies is they give you an aspect of, oh yeah, characters are gonna die. But like you can definitely tell which characters will die, which characters will die and which won't die. Like you can definitely tell in Aliens that, oh yeah, like they basically like also put that on that like this character is basically like about to die, but like the character basically like is saved. You know, like it has like that fear aspect with it. I wasn't scared watching the movie, but like basically they give you like that, like, you know, like the nervous aspect of that, like, oh yeah, this character is basically like wrapped in goo on the wall, and there's one of the head crabs hatching, and like, you know, like that character is like in danger. So you basically have to wonder, like, again, you've seen a lot of these movies thousands of times.
Yes.
And you basically know what's going to happen every time. But for like a first time watcher, you're like, oh, like there's another character going to save a character, but like you don't know like when it is or how close it is. Like with Aliens, they really made it really close with like saving some of the characters.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears a little bit. You and I talked a little bit before we had this interview, and if I remember correctly, and I'm getting older, so maybe I misunderstood or maybe I forgot, I don't know. You, I think it said that you could talk a little bit about, you've been diagnosed with ADHD. Are you comfortable talking about that today?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and can you tell the people who are watching and listening to our interview today what it's like? I mean, you've had ADHD your whole life, so that's all you know, right? Pretty much. But what is it about ADHD that's good, and what is it about ADHD that's hard?
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with everything that's good about it, because that just feels like it's easy to do. When you have ADHD, finding what you want to do, like what you like to do, is important, because when when you have something that you like to do, you can really hyper focus on it, and that's sometimes why time goes really fast when I'm playing games, because I'm so focused on those games. But like if there's like something that I'm not a fan of, like schoolwork and stuff, like a test or something, it's really hard for me to focus in on that, because it's not something that I would want to do, and I'm always thinking like oh, like there's something I want to do right now that I'd rather be doing, but I have to do it.
Do you mean like a desired versus an undesired like activity?
Yes, like a liked activity, like a preferred activity.
A preferred activity. Okay, that's a good way to say it. Okay, I gotcha.
And I think the cons with ADHD is like, again, maybe in like this interview you see me like glancing up a little bit over to like the other part of the room, because it's like a little bit like, again, I can focus on you and know that we're having a conversation, but it's sort of like when you have like a big environment area, you're like looking around at everything. So it's like really hard to like focus on one thing, because there's so much going on.
I see.
And I feel like that like there's a lot going on, so it's like hard to like focus on like one thing. Again, for like, you probably like, if like something's going on, you could probably still keep like your eyes on that. For me, like I would still be looking at it, but my eyes would like wander all over the room.
Now, when you're you need to take a drink?
Yes.
Okay. So why don't you listen to my question while you're taking a drink, okay? So when you are on your medication versus not being on your medication, what is really, what is it like when you're on your medication versus not being on your medication? As somebody who has been diagnosed and has ADHD.
I feel like it is, like, when I'm on my medication, it's like, everything is like, again, the environment is still the same, but it's like I'm not as like, you know, like talkative. I'm more focused on my base. I think it basically makes me more focused on what's in front of me. Focused, other than if I'm not on the med, it's basically like, oh, everything is in front of me. Sort of like that, you know, like here is like where like what I, like the limits of what I see, like here. Basically what it does with like my ADHD is it's like, okay, your eyes are like this is what's in front of you, and it basically like makes me so focused on what I'm doing that sometimes, like, again, you know, this is being my father, but sometimes I don't even feel hungry when I'm on my medication, which I think is a con with it, because again, sometimes like there's times that I completely blown off lunch before, but I feel like when I'm on the med, I feel like I can focus easier of what's in front of me. Like I test like times that like I've been like really like looking into space like this, into like nowhere, versus like when I'm on like my medication, I'm just focused on like what's in front of me. But also with my medication, it sometimes makes me focus on, oh, like a teacher's talking in class, like I can focus on that. But I'm also like, oh, like the room around me, I'm still focusing on that.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's that's really helpful, by the way. Thanks for explaining that, because I think a lot of people, well, number one, there's a lot of people that are on ADHD that are not on medication, right?
Yeah.
Who have ADHD, I should say, but that aren't on meds. And then, you know, a lot of people don't really know what it's like to have ADHD. So this is helpful, and it gets talked about a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you think, let's shift gears. Can you remember, like, can you remember a time that you were the most proud of something? Like what's the most proud you think you've ever been about something in your life?
Well, when I was doing computer modifications for my own personal computer, I felt proud that I figured it out by myself. Again, it took a lot of trial and error, and definitely wasn't like, you know, those moments I wasn't the happiest about, like not being able to figure it out. But when I figured it out, I was excited that I didn't need to have any professionals handle the situation. I was able to figure it out myself.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that's terrific. I think that's great, and I think you're very talented with that as well. So that's something that I'm hoping that, you know, maybe you might be able to find it might be an area to go in with the vocational stuff when you start figuring out what you want to do. I guess, you know, we'll have to see how things go for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess some other stuff I was wondering a little tiny bit about is if you could talk a little tiny bit about what you think about for the future. You know, when you think about the future, when you think about your future going forward, because you're 14 now, right? So you're still, you know, you're still a teenager, of course. But when you think about the future, like, what are some good things about the future that you can think of?
Again, like the future, like, again, like, you know, being able to drive would be cool when I can. You know, like ownership, basically, like, you know, like owning like a house, and, you know, being responsible for the thing that's not being responsible for is having to do like my own shopping for things and stuff like that. But like, I feel like an ownership of like, you know, like a house would be like something that like would be like part of the future, because that's again you own your own house, so I feel like that's something that would like that's for like the future that I feel about. And that's not gonna be, I'm not gonna rush into that, but like I feel like it's something that I see for the future is, you know, eventually owning my own house and starting my own, you know, going up in the world, you know.
I see. Okay. And I'm trying to think, because there's so much about you that I think is very interesting. What do you think is your favorite part about yourself? I know it's a tough question, but what's your favorite part of who Andrew is? Like, what do you think is your strongest thing that makes you a special person?
I'd say like I'm a very good listener. So again, like sometimes if you have a conversation with me, I'm more of like a listener, and then I'll be like, okay, then this is like when I'm talking to like a friend after not seeing one of my friends for like a long time, I'm more of like the listening type than dominating the conversation. I feel like I don't want to control the conversation with just me. I want to hear how like talking to friends over the summer, like, yeah, how was your summer? What'd you do? You didn't do anything? Well, you didn't really do anything. You know, maybe maybe you slept this whole summer. Maybe you like went to some cool place or something. Like that's like when I talk to someone, that's like something like I like to hear from them.
So you think you're a really good friend and a good listener? Is that also another thing? I would say both of those things are true. So I think that's very insightful, you know, for yourself. Speaking of which, are there any places that if you could go anywhere in the world right now, tomorrow, if you could get on a plane or a boat or anything like that, or I don't know, where would you want to go? What would be the first place you'd want to go to?
Sicily and Italy would
Yeah,
be
how
one of,
come?
because that's, where, like, origins of my family is, like, yes, I was born and I live in the United States, but, like, that's where where I come from,
A lot of your family? Your
yes,
family
a lot
lineage?
of my descendants, not
I
my
see.
descendants, my ancestors.
I see. If you, okay, so we've talked about the idea that you're hoping that you're going to buy a house someday, which is very exciting to think about, right? We were talking a little bit about possible jobs that you might have someday, like with careers and stuff like that. If there was anything, if you could think about, Drew as like a, 21-year-old guy, right? 7 years from now, right? And if you were doing stuff outside of work, right? Let's say you were working for, you were doing like IT work and you were fixing computers, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you want to be doing outside of work? Is there anything you'd want to be doing? Like, and you can dream a little bit. You can, of course, right? We can sort of fantasize about something that you'd want to be doing, just something you'd want to be learning. You were something that you were getting good at.
Again, that's a big question. Like, it's a big, area of a question. Because I could be like, oh, I could also learn, how, like, electricity stuff works, like electrical work stuff works. Or I could learn how like locks work with, like, the pins and, the doors and stuff like that. Or, like, I can learn how, like, different power tools work. Like, it's a big spectrum on that.
So you, really more, again, those are almost like work things, but like fun-wise, is there anything fun-wise that you wish you were doing? Like when you think of it yourself as like Drew as an adult, maybe, like, is there anything that you could think of that would be like cool that you would be doing like for fun?
Maybe like learning like how like maybe like to build something.
Okay, like
Maybe,
learning how to build
building
stuff?
something fun. Not like building like something for carpentry, like something like for flooring or something. I mean like like maybe like building like a birdhouse out of wood.
Oh,
or maybe like making like something else besides like the stress of like work and stuff like that. Maybe like another thing of like maybe like woodworking would be something cool outside of work.
Nice. Okay, well that sounds good. I really liked your answers. Most of them I basically feel like I knew as your dad, but some of them were a little bit different from the way you explained it, so I really appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, well thanks Andrew. It was good to see you and thanks for the interview today.
You're very welcome.
Okay. And this was another installment of the Everyone's Interesting podcast, and thanks for watching. Take good care. Bye now.